Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your financial market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening as we're here now on Wednesday, and this is the 11th of February, 2026, and it's finally warming up. I still have plenty of snow outside, but it's melting, and that's the good thing. And as I said, we're in Indiana, and we're in the snow belt, as they call it, as it whips around Lake Michigan by Chicago. Beautiful, much prettier than being in the Chicago. But Chicago's architecture, it doesn't have to take a back seat to anything. It's gorgeous. I hate the government, but I do like the architecture. All right, so as we take a look at the markets, today was an interesting day with the jobs report. The number was a blowout. The market was looking for 50 to 70,000 new jobs, and you go, whoa, 130,000? So on the surface, it's bullish. But as you dug into the data during the day and you saw the revisionments, was it? The right areas got new jobs, industry. But when you looked at the revisions and you look at what 2025 represented, what if I tell you for the whole year, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we added about 185,000 jobs. Nowhere near the 50,000 a month that we were getting. Instead, one of the lowest in decades that we've had ex-recession. This was not good. And the question is, was today the beginning of something different? And that's why the market is sort of caught. You can see even the battle tonight, looking for where the direction is in the marketplace. So you've got to look at all that. Tomorrow you're going to get more data, and you have CPI data on Friday. You get the weekly jobless claims. They're going to be at 7:30. You're going to get existing home sales for January at 9 o'clock. The EI natural gas report, that's at 9:30. The Treasury came out today with the January monthly budget. And again, it's a deficit of $95 billion. I think the president should boast when it goes positive. We haven't been there. The House of Representatives, some members have decided to defy the president, and they crossed lines, 6 of them, and they were able to join Democrats in voting to end tariffs on Canada. Now, the Senate did that, if you'll recall, back in October of last year. So can they get together, get a bill, and send it to the president, who will definitely veto it? We'll see. Why would he veto it? The reason is he's already talking that he wants to cancel the USMCA deal. I don't know if that's a bluff, negotiating tactic, or what. I differ with him on that. I think that we need a strong continent. Our biggest 2 trading partners are Mexico and Canada. You don't, just because he's the president doesn't mean you have to agree with everything that he says. You can applaud him for many of the great things he's done, and you can absolutely chide him for the things that aren't great. So you got to go back and forth. I want Canada to be a trade partner with the U.S. in a better way. When we take a look at the markets right now, and by the way, I write about this in my report tonight, and I give you graphs as to how we've gone since 1980 with all those numbers to back up what I'm saying. And that comes from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. You can see the metals are sort of mixed. The dollar closed a fraction higher. It was a lot higher, and it gave it up. It gave up, if you look at it, 45 points today. The currencies are dropping a little, but I don't think there's any damage to anything just yet. When we take a look at the energies, well, you know why they're getting a bid. They're getting a bid not because there's less energy in supply. If you saw today's EIA report, we put in 8.5 million more barrels. It's not the 13 million barrels the API said, but it's still, we're putting away barrels, and the market widely believes that on average there's about 2 million excess barrels a day being produced. Why is the market going up? Because everybody's fearful that if the U.S. goes after Iran to topple the government, the first thing Iran will do is probably try to close the Strait of Hormuz. That impacts oil. Now, not all the oil goes through from the Mideast there. Many of them take the long route around. They don't want to be involved in that, and there's insurance costs and the like, but it is a real issue. Bonds and notes, pretty stable right now. So let's just go to the charts. The S&P for the week is up 0.13%. Not a lot of volatility. And you see the lack of it right here. The market's just not doing an awful lot. You had an outside day down today, so the market's got a higher high, a lower low, acting a bit bearish. When you put the two together, and this is what they'll look like, this high was higher than that high, so they both drop. And I'll come back to this chart. Coming in, this is how it looked, but this is not as high as this. So an outside day down gets an arrow pointing with it, and both are pointing down now. The support in the market is the 18-day average of closes. You have the swing line down, the bias up because you're over that, and the slow stochastics are now in overbought territory. It's very difficult to deploy money, in my opinion, on the long side of this market up here. In the NASDAQ, I'm going to now start putting some of these symbols for you so you can get the full definition of what I'm doing over here. And this is the symbol that is used by the exchange. So you have the market with lower highs, lower lows. Any way you want to look at it, this is in a downtrend. The market's got resistance at the combination of the 100-day average and the 18, the green and the red. And if it breaks down hard, maybe it goes to the lower Bollinger Band. In the Dow Jones futures, the March contract, the opposite. This has been where the power is because as the market's in a rotation, the industrial area, the consumer staples, that is what's been the strong areas. And that's carrying this market. It's only made up of the 30 choice stocks. It's easy to do that. That looks a lot different than the other charts. And you're in no man's land in the Russell as you have a lower low, higher high pattern, and outside day down. If you don't understand outside days, go to my website. I have a course on outside days. It's extremely important. In the DAX, you made your run at the upper Bollinger Band. You're backing off, but there's nothing here that's exciting. You have the lower low, higher high, and you've been stuck in these Bollinger Bands, it seems forever, and that's where you're still at. When we go to the 10-year notes, this should be ZNH. That's my mistake. It's a 10-year note, not ZB. ZNH. I'll fix that. Higher lows, higher highs. The market's slipping back. Overbought. It went up, and what do I teach you? The first challenge of a Bollinger Band and a 100-day average, when you're not embedded, the pros are coming out of these markets. That's what I believe, and I still teach it that way. In the 2-year note, and I've got the symbol right here, lower highs, lower lows again. A huge up move and then crash today all the way back, if you look at this, to the 18-day average to find its support. So this definitely got hurt. In the dollar index, you have a higher high, lower low, and the market had an outside day up. Now, if you take out today's low on Thursday or Friday, that's a very bearish signal in the market, and I'd look for the market to be making a run wherever the Bollinger Band is, but it's got to do that. In the euro, you're in no man's land. You have a higher high, lower low, and you keep coming back to the 18-day average, trying to figure out what to do. I am in the camp that is bullish the euro, bearish the dollar, but I'm a chartist. I wait for the signals to come in. Just because I like something from a fundamental point of view does not mean that I tell my clients to trade that. Lower low, higher high, and as you can see, the market fighting at the 100-day average. Right behind that is the Bollinger Band. I'm looking for a top up here where the market corrects. Now, you have to give it credit. Ever since the snap election, this market has rallied on. It made a lower low when we came back on Monday morning, and by the Sunday night, Monday morning, and it has rallied up dramatically ever since then. Then we look at Bitcoin, and it is still in trouble. It refuses to embed, so it's an oversold market that might not have much to go on the downside, as I call it. In the Brent, you're still bullish. You're overbought. Difficult market when you're overbought to deploy new money. Same thing in the slow stochastics. I view any readings when one of the readings of the slow stochastic or both of them are over 70, but they're not going sideways over 80. To be an overbought market, and to me, it is a signal to step back. There's other places to play. In heating oil, you're finding your legs. The market's still coming up in the marketplace. Gasoline we have to start looking at. So soon I'm going to drop the heating oil and switch to the gasoline in anticipation of the spring events that happen. Natural gas still slipping down, oversold. I don't know that it's going back to these Bollinger Bands. This oversold area could be where the market tries to get its legs. For those of you that like these indicators that I have, I don't know if you're aware of it, but if you use TradingView, besides my charting software, the QT and our LG software, whoa, you get these, you can get this. And all you have to do is go to our website in the customer service area in the top right and sign up for it. After you do that, we take it the rest of the way. You'll get an email from us the following business day or the same one, depends what time you do it. Log out, back in, it'll all be working for you. You get my version of slow stochastic, swing lines, and the outside bars, because they're so important, will highlight. You can change those features. You can do whatever you want. We've made it extremely flexible. This goes with all the courses that I teach, and it is the software that I use every single day in stocks, ETFs, the futures markets. If you can chart it, that's where I'm using it. Go to iraepstein.com. As I said, the top right, customer service. You can click up here if you're watching this with your cursor, or up here where it says, if you're watching on YouTube, there'll be an icon there. Give it a click. That'll take you to the website, but go to customer service. I'm Ira Epstein. You have yourself a great evening. Hope you watch the other videos, and I'll catch up with one and all first thing, as I say, in the morning. Take care.